So if you ever tried learning a language, you probably struggled with pronunciation at some point in time. So what if I tell you that there's a really useful tool that can greatly improve your ability to mimic sounds and consequently improve your pronunciation of any language on this planet? So I graduated from UCLA with a major in linguistics and computer science, and one of the courses I had to take was phonetics, or the study of sound. At the end of that course, we had an exam where we had to pronounce tones, we had to be able to change stress, and we had to be able to pronounce all sounds in all languages possible, including click sounds like in osa. And we had to do this in 6 weeks. To help us though, we had the International Phonetic Alphabet, or the IPA, which is a chart of all sounds that exist on this planet in any language, and it's structured in a very logical manner so that if you understand it, or more or less can navigate it, you'll be able to improve your pronunciation of any language if you know that language's IPA, or that language's sounds. The phonetic alphabet is split into two-ish categories. The first one is vowels, where you can see this kind of trapezoid-like shape, and on each extreme you have the extreme vowels. This trapezoid vowel space mimics the shape of the mouth. So you have E, which is closest to the front, U, which is closest to the back, A, which is the bottom part closest to the front, and A, which is the back part. Within this vowel space, you do also have other vowels such as A, you have E, O, and others. You also have the distinction between open and closed vowels. So E is open, U is closed, even though it is very forward. E and U is pronounced in the same place, but with a slight change in the mouth. There's also the consonants chart, which is structured also in a very similar manner. It goes from closest to the front to furthest to the backs. So P is here, G is pronounced here. You also have a distinction between voiced and voiceless consonants. To be able to distinguish if a consonant is voiced, you can place your hand right here, and if you can sense a vibration, that means the consonant is voiced. Side note, all vowels are voiced, so to speak. So for example, P is voiceless, but B is voiced. This sensation is the vibration of the vocal folds, if you're interested. I'll link the chart below. Don't try to focus so much on the symbols themselves, but try to figure out how the chart functions and how it represents our pronunciation, our mouth, and what it's capable of.
U, A,
ja, a ja, ba, a ba.
In the chart, apart from voiced and voiceless, there are also different manners of articulation, so to speak. That is the way you pronounce things. So apart from like the distance, the location, you also have the way you pronounce it. You have sounds such as like p-b, which are very explosive and stop-like. You have nasals like where the sound comes through the nose. All of that is nasaled. You have trills, which are like r, if you know Spanish or Russian, or there's also that sound. You have taps, which exist in English, like if you've ever tried pronouncing butter, it's not butter, it's not butter, but it's butter. It's like a tap. But the most common category, of course, is fricatives. And fricatives are pronounced with airflow going through from the back of your throat to the front. So s, you can sense the airflow going through, like s. V is also, but f is voiceless, remember, and v is voiced. You have h, r, j, sh, all of those. Again, experiment with it and try to see if you can understand how that works. You also have a bunch of different more difficult categories, such as approximants or lateral fricatives, lateral proximants, but again, try to experiment with it, try and see if you can understand those. There's also an extension of the consonants category. It's consonants that don't fit into this chart per se, they have an additional feature added to them. For example, there are voiced implosives such as b, d, g. It's they're pronounced in a slightly different manner. you have a change of pressure in the throat. If you're interested in that, there are a bunch of videos on that, but it's just those consonants also exist, as well as adjectives like and many others. There's also clicks, of course. You have but again, experiment with it. There are a lot of videos about the International Phonetic Alphabet. I just wanted to share that this is actually a very useful way of learning pronunciation. And those are just to name a few. There's a lot more aspects of it, a lot more detailed parts of pronunciation that might not be listed in this particular chart, but you can also look into it and maybe try to mimic it. Again, there are tons of videos. So for example, I recently started learning German, and I was trying to understand how to pronounce everything, because German is not French, it's not Russian, it's not Japanese, it's not any of the languages that I know. So I looked up, I went to Wikipedia, I looked up the IPA of German, the International Phonetic Alphabet of German. And I was able to find the different sounds that exist in German. And I try to mimic them, see if I can pronounce them, and try to identify them in words. So that when I see those words, or similar looking words, I'm able to pronounce them. Or if at any point in time I stumble across a word that I don't know how to pronounce, I would put that word into the International Phonetic Alphabet and try to read it. Since I have taken that phonetics course, I do have the advantage that I can read the International Phonetic Alphabet. But for you, if you don't need to learn the International Phonetic Alphabet, you just need to have a basic understanding and pattern recognition, basically. If you see this symbol, that means it's this sound, and you can be able to click on the sound and have it pronounce it for you. So if you stumble across a new language that you want to learn and you want to improve your pronunciation, you take the International Phonetic Alphabet of that language, you try to pronounce all of the basic sounds of that language, and once you think you've got that, you can differentiate between them. You can try and practice on words. You look up the International Phonetic Alphabet transcription of that word, and you try to mimic those sounds using the chart as a useful resource, because it can pronounce stuff and you don't need to actually memorize all of the symbols. But yes, so again, the International Phonetic Alphabet is a phenomenal tool for learning how to mimic sounds and how to improve your pronunciation. I've been speaking French for a while, but at some point I wanted to improve my pronunciation again, and I looked up the phonetic alphabet of different sounds, and I discovered that it greatly helped me improve or be aware of what sounds happen where, and consciously think about the way I pronounce things, which also improved my pronunciation. So I urge you to look through it, figure it out, and if you're struggling with pronunciation and language, use it to your advantage, because it's a phenomenal tool, and it's no wonder that all linguists use it for studying language. If you're interested in other ways to improve your language learning, I also have a few videos about cartoons in language learning, and if you're learning either Korean or Russian, I would suggest checking those out. I'll have them right over here. And thank you for watching.